Hi everyone. Today in this video, I want to share with you a distinction, something that puzzles me at times when I listen to people talking about their so-called strategies. And that distinction I want to make is the difference between what I believe is a property strategy versus a tool to control a property. So let me explain to you what I mean by that. So I hear people saying, for example, my strategy is purchase lease option, or my strategy is rent to rent. And I don't quite get that, or what I mean, I do get it, but I don't quite agree with that. For me, PLOs, purchases options, rent to rents, and things like that, are not property strategies. Let me explain to you what distinction I make. So, a property strategy is a key sector you're going to be focusing on, and maybe with a specific type of property, maybe a specific type of tenants or target clients. So, for example, your strategy could be I am going to be focusing on house share, HMOs, co living houses for students. That's to me a strategy. Or it could be I am going to be focusing on acquiring houses of minimum of 3 bedroom for short-term lets that I'm going to be marketing to contractors during the week and visiting a group of individuals in the weekend because you're in a touristic location, sorry, or because there are a lot of events in your location which are happening weekends and attracting people. These to me are strategies, acquiring land to get planning on and resell with a planning gain. That's a strategy. That's one thing on the one hand. On the other hand, you've got your toolbox. Your toolbox with your tools. If you're a handyman, you've got a screwdriver, you've got a hammer, you've got a saw, you've got star screwdrivers, you've got flat screwdrivers, you've got the spirit level, etc. These are your tools to do your works. And in property, we also have tools, which are ways to control land or buildings. And there are different ways that you can control a property. So you can acquire a property by buying it outright cash. That's one tool. You can acquire a piece of land, controlling it with an option agreement, because you're going to say, I'm going to pay you X for this piece of land, subject to obtaining the right planning approval on this piece of land. And if I get that planning approval for 10 houses, and according to that scheme, then I'll buy you the land. If I don't get it, then I don't buy it. That's another tool in your box, buying with an option. Saying, I'm going to control your property, I'm going to take on your property, I'm going to lease it for 7 years or 5 years at a fixed price per month. With an increment every 12 months, maybe, which we'll agree upon and review then. And then at the end of the contract of these 5 or 7 years, I will have the possibility, the option to buy your property at a price that maybe we define now, or that will be price from that we agree now, plus an increment of the housing price index increase every year. Whatever it is that you've agreed. That's a purchase lease option. That's controlling a property on a lease with the option to purchase it at the end of the lease. Or maybe you're saying, look, your building, actually, I'm never going to buy it, but I'm really interested in giving you a guaranteed rent, leasing it for 5 years, and I just at a fixed price, and I take care of all the internal maintenance. If the boiler packs up, I take care of it. You will never have any void, and so on. And I just want to have the right in exchange to multi-let the property or run it as serviced accommodation. And you've got to make sure, Mr. Landlord, that the building insurance and the mortgage and the covenant on the lease, if it's a leasehold titles, are all in adequate and compliant with what I want to do. And that's a rent-to-rent strategies. And this is another way to control a property. So hopefully you're getting what I'm trying to say, and that important distinction between what is a property strategy and what is a tool in your toolbox. And the more tools you've got, the better. I appreciate that some of us, some of you, will not have all the tools, and it's okay. When you start in the business, you can't have all the tools in the toolbox, and maybe the only tool you've got at the beginning is because of the lack of investment partners or the lack of cash in the bank. You may not be able to consider purchasing with cash a property. That might not be a tool available in the in your toolbox. You might not be mortgageable with all the banks, all the lenders, or on all the different type of product. You might not be eligible yet for a commercial mortgage or an HMO product or other type of finance. You might not have these tools in your box. You might have bridging finance in your toolbox. You may be able to access that. You might have residential mortgage in your toolbox. You might have buy-to-let, but maybe not others. But as you grow and as you develop, you've got to aim to build that toolbox. So you've got more and more tools in your toolbox, because the better handyman is the one who has got always the right tool for the right job. So if it's a screw in the wall, it's better to have the right screwdriver to put it in. A flat on a screw head, on a star screw head, is not brilliant. Never mind a hammer or spirit level to put a screw in the wall. You know, I'm exaggerating, of course, in my metaphor here, but I want to illustrate the point. So again, wanted to say that, of course, if you haven't got all the tools and got only rent-to-rent and PLO, purchases option, these might be the only tools you've got at the moment, but that doesn't make it a strategy. Your strategy should be focused on a type of property in a certain location for a specific sector. That's a target market, that's a target tenant, a target client, and that is a strategy to me. PLO and rent-to-rent is not a strategy. So this is what I wanted to share with you today. I hope this is actually useful. Love to hear your comments on your thoughts on that, whether you agree with what I'm saying or whether you actually disagree with what I'm saying, and any other distinction that you may have around that, or any comments or any questions. So feel free to put in comments below. That'd be really really great, so we can engage, and I can either reply to you directly or just do another video on the topic. In the meantime, remember, value is in the implementation. Watching these videos is great, acquiring more learning, knowledge and theory is great, but taking action is where the value is. Implementation is value. I look forward to seeing you very soon on this channel. Bye bye.